Hello students and aspiring nomads. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make $1,000 a week as a digital nomad, even if you're broke. Hey guys, welcome back. Stoked to have you checking out another video on basically how to create an additional income stream so that you can get to living the lifestyle that you want, right? We focused on different income streams on this channel that will teach you how to turn your passion into a paycheck. And so there are multiple income streams I've talked about in the past, but this time I'm actually going to share with you guys the very first income stream that actually helped me leave my corporate America job. It'll be 7 years ago in like a month. So this is a great way for literally anyone to get started. You don't have to have any crazy technical skills, nothing like that. You do have to have a little bit of base knowledge, but before I get into all of that, I'm going to start by just telling you a little story, okay? So it was literally about 7 years ago, and you know what? Let's actually go back a little bit further. We'll say 8 years ago, right? Because I was still full into my my day job, which if you guys have seen any of my other videos, I was in phone sales. I'd been in that job at that time for 4 years, and even though I was bringing in more money for the company, my paychecks and my commissions kept getting smaller and smaller because the company was starting to cut back. There was like some new board members that were really trying to like increase profits, and ultimately, even though we were growing as a company, they were pulling money back from the commission sales reps. And so I love sales. I definitely don't consider myself a salesman. I just figure out what people need and I provide a solution for them. And so I really did enjoy the job. It was a great experience. I learned a lot of people skills, how to deal with people, how to help them find what they need, and really get to the bottom of that. And so even though it was a great job, after 4 years and my paycheck kept getting cut and cut, year after year, even though I was bringing the company more money, I realized that this was not going to be sustainable. My costs were increasing, which is obviously something that I should have been cutting down, but I kind of got used to a particular lifestyle. And at that point in time, when my check, every year got cut by 10%, I felt that. Nobody else did. The company was making that money now, but I was feeling that directly. So realizing that, I saw that, this company was not loyal to me like I was loyal to them. So I tried to figure out, how can I leave the corporate America world? And that's when I really, jumped into 4-Hour Work Week. I've talked about that book many times. Lots of digital nomads, people working online, they've used that book to basically escape their day job. But I needed something fast. I needed something that I could put together over the course of really 6 months to a year so that I could fully leave in that time. And so the one thing that I realized is that because I'd used social media to grow one of my companies, just literally a part-time business on the side, which was an apparel company at the time, I had learned a bunch of skills when it came to Instagram, Facebook marketing, etc. And I decided that since I know some of these skills that most people do not, why don't I go ahead and monetize them? And so what I actually did is I created literally just a very simple spreadsheet, right? Well, it's more of a cheat sheet that kind of went through what I knew about the space that would kind of blow people's minds, that if I presented this to small to medium-sized businesses, they would hire me on to run their social media for them. And so this was back in the time where social media was not what it is today. Everybody was still doing very traditional marketing. And these companies, they knew that they needed to be online. They just didn't know what to do. They knew they were going to have to probably hire someone full time to like run their Facebook pages, their Instagram pages, all that kind of stuff. And so what I was able to do is I just basically put together this pitch of, here's what I offer. Here's some account growth that I'd seen on some niche accounts, and then my personal account. So I basically had a little bit of proof that I could show them. And then I put that into, this little cheat sheet that I could go and contact businesses. And it wasn't ideal, right? It's not like people were calling me in the beginning. That was me literally cold calling different specific niches that I knew very well. And honestly, where I started with that was in the chiropractic niche. I met numerous chiropractors over the years, had seen numerous myself, always created a great relationship with them. And so they were kind of like, the low-hanging fruit for me. So what I did is, now that I had this, this pitch built out, I contacted them and said, hey, do you guys have anyone handling your social media right now? Like, oh, well, no, we have a profile, but we don't have anyone running it. We've only got like 3 posts on there, and we just don't know what we're doing. So since I had that little bit of a relationship with them, right? If it's somebody you've spent money with before, they kind of have to hear you out. And so it's a little tip right there. If whether it's a dentist you've been going to for years, eye doctor, chiropractor, you name it, these service-based businesses are an incredible place to start if you want to jump into this space. And so now that I had my pitch, I was calling him up on the phone, let him know I offered, and I didn't give him a price over the phone. I just scheduled a meeting, and after I scheduled the meeting, I went ahead and went in there. I was professional. Had all this cut off at that time. Went in, button up, looked professional. But the way that they saw me was I was this young kid, and they saw me as these millennials. They understand the internet, they understand social media, so maybe they can help me grow my business. And at that point in time, I didn't know what I do now about marketing. So really what my pitch was, hey, you guys need a presence online. You have your website, nobody goes to it. You've got your social media profiles, but no one sees your post. What I can do is I can help create that content, and I can help slowly build a following while just providing a presence online. So I wasn't providing Facebook ads like a lot of gurus are teaching now. Go and create a Facebook agency where you can run Facebook ads for people. That is all fine and dandy, but way back when, I didn't know anything about that kind of stuff. All I knew was how to create good content and how to get traffic. By way back then, it was still Twitter and everything too. So follow for follow, and searching hashtags, searching keywords in that specific geographical area, which for me was Kansas City. And so I started just going after these chiropractors early on, and then that branched out to other small businesses as well. But that was just a great place to start for me. So when I went in for the appointment, I basically handed them a sheet. I had my own sheet, and this was so that I didn't screw up. When somebody has something to hold and look at, their focus leaves you, and it goes towards this pamphlet, this cheat sheet. And I call it a cheat sheet because that's exactly what it was for me. It made me sound like an expert, even though I was not quite yet. Obviously, as you get into this, as you are bringing on clients, you're going to get to learn a ton more about the social media space, how to market, the wrong things to do, the right things to do. And so you'll just learn and grow with the process. But the cool part about it was you seem like the expert. So I was just reading through my cheat sheet, and I would just say, yeah, here's what we do for Facebook. Yeah, here's what we do for Instagram. Yeah, here's what we do for Twitter. And just kind of giving them little simple bullets on what we would do, what we would offer, how many posts a week we would throw up. And the cool part about it was, since back then you could link Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter all together, anytime I would post from Instagram, it would go to Facebook. Anytime I would post from Facebook, it would go to Instagram and Twitter. So it was honestly too easy. I really only had to put up 5 quality posts a week. And, I did have different packages. I had 3 packages, which is honestly too much. You really only need 1, especially today. You don't want to give people a ton of choice. At that point, they get to, a stage where they're like, well, let me think about it. I'm not sure which one I want to do, whether it's a gold, silver, bronze package, whatever. And so back then I had a $300 package, a $1,000 package, and a $1,500 package. And so anymore these days, if you're going to be doing anything on social media, it is in demand. There's not enough people able to, intelligently run these profiles, and there's not enough marketing minds out there, to meet the demand for all these businesses. So if you want to go out and do something like this, you can create something simple, something like the cheat sheet or this pitch that you can bring into these businesses. And yes, it does take some time. You're going to have to jump on the phone. You're going to have to talk to people. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be weird. But ultimately, there is some growth pains you have to go through. But I have to ask, what's what kind of pain do you want? Do you want growth pain, or do you want the pain of staying in the same job that you might hate? Maybe you love your job. But I was at a point where I was just like, I just felt, like they were just kind of screwing me, honestly. I was like, I got to get out of here before ultimately my paycheck dwindles down to nothing. And I was just craving the freedom of working for myself. And so when I would go in and speak to these offices, I would basically just try to close them right there on the spot. Here's what we can do. Here's what having a presence online is going to do for you. And really just talk about what it's going to do for them in their business. And the best way for me to do that was to ask them about their business. Why do you want to go on social media? What do you think it's going to do for you? Do you know any other offices that are doing it well? And then when they would give me all this information, it was basically giving me ammo. And it wasn't ammo to sell them on anything. It was just ammo to provide a solution specific to what they were looking for. And then I could also look at the competition and figure out what was really working for their competition. And it gave me great ideas on how to basically craft and create different posts, different types of content for these different social media platforms. And so really, I don't want to keep this video, too long or anything. I wanted to, just simplify it. But this is really an incredible way to start a business to where you don't have to have a ton or really any upfront capital. If you can, even in your workplace, if you can actually create a simple pitch, a simple cheat sheet that you can make look very professional, right? You can put whatever brand you want on there, or you can just put your name and then marketing underneath it, etc. You can actually start calling up local businesses or tap into some of your network, right? You probably know a business owner off the top of your head. You probably know, a lady who cuts hair, or a barber. You probably know someone who might own like a liquor store, which got to be careful when you market liquor, but you can promote them in the right way. Just Google that part. You could go after service-based businesses like I did. I mean, literally the sky's the limit, and you can just tap into your network. And if you don't know anyone off the top of your head, ask your friends, ask your family members, see who they know, who might just give you the opportunity to share with them what you can help them do. And it's not that you need to have an incredible, awesome spreadsheet of here's all the clients we've worked with. Not at all. People just know that they need it. And if that means you have to open up and sell a package for a little bit less than what you'd like to get out of it just to get the experience, once you have the results, you can take those results to any other business. And I mean, by the time we're done, with this business, or by the time I was done with it, I mean, my minimum social media client was paying $2,500 a month. And so if you kind of do the math, if you have 4 good clients a month, I mean, that's a $10,000 month, and there's literally no expenses to you. You don't need a building, you don't need employees. Obviously, if you want employees, you have the option to, sub out maybe a couple grand of that a month and have them do all the work while you're keeping the remaining 80%. But really, it's very simple. It's not as hard as it would seem. All you have to do is just be creative, and you just have to obviously put yourself out there. And if you can do that, then you can literally get to the point where $1,000 a week is a walk in the park. All it takes, even if you start at $1,500 for your pitch, and they're saying, hey, I don't know if we can swing that. You have the buffer to, come down to $1,000 a month, or maybe $800 a month, depending on what you're willing to give up. Now, if you're interested on how to negotiate on price, there's actually an incredible book called Never Split the Difference. Can't think of the author's name right off the top of my head. I actually wasn't going to add this piece in there, but it's coming to you now. But Never Split the Difference. Look it up on Amazon, and you'll be able to find it. It's on Audible as well. But it just talks about how to negotiate with people so that you can actually get what you need out of a deal in order to make it worth your while. And so I'm gonna leave you guys with that, just a little nugget, little piece of how I got started online, how I started my first business, which led to multiple other businesses once I had that capital in order to jump into other markets and other niches. And so that is an easy way where you can make $1,000 a week as a digital nomad, or even just someone who wants to stay home and work from home. So you guys take care. We'll see you on the next video. God bless.